Welcome back to Truth Quest. My name is Aaron Moriarity. I will be your host. We're going on a quest for truth together. Yes, we really are. Hello, friends. I'm sorry I'm a little bit late today. It's just everything is just still trying to figure out this confuser problem. Thank you very much, Catherine Weiss, for the awesome super chat. That is incredible. Thank you very much. And welcome, Mud Rabbit. Our awesome mods are here. Two of our awesome mods are here today. And couldn't be happier. Couldn't be happier. Okay. Boy, I hope you're all having a wonderful Labor Day weekend. Yeah, it was very quiet here. Very quiet indeed. I hope you're all having a wonderful, wonderful evening. And we have some interesting things to look at today. A UFO that was just put out today by Tyler Secureteam. We're going to get into that in a little bit. But first things first. My dad used to always say that. First things first. Okay. Oh, yeah. Here we go. Where is that? Anyway, I'm, oh, here it is. All right. This is going to be good. Okay, put this over here. Here. And so in addition to that UFO, it looks like something to me. We'll see if it looks like that to you too. Okay. All righty then. Let's get back over there. I hope the confuser does not freeze up on me, but that's always a possibility. If so, just hang tight. It takes like about a minute or two to get that. Excuse me. I have to put the filter on the light there. It's a little bit too bright for my eyes. I can't let too much light. If I let too much light hit my eyes, I go blind. So light entering my eyes, the more it does, the more I go blind. So I'm trying not to have lights pointing at me, although I got two lights pointing at me right now. But anyway, so here we go. Let's get something up here, shall we now? Quiet here too, but today I lived up to my name, Mud Rabbit. Oh, you were digging? Digging, okay. That sounds interesting. I have a light sensitivity in my eyes too, and I get that. Okay. Yeah. It's something. I'm grateful for the eyesight I have remaining. Very grateful. Cleaned the yard and gardens. I almost went out and did that. I really should have pulled weeds. The weeds are getting taller than me now. Hello, Cheryl. Welcome to the program. That's awesome. All of our friends are here. Let's get something up here to look at, shall we now? Yeah. We like sharing here. Sharing. You know, with all of the new regulations for cars and everything, it's interesting to see all the rollouts. You know, you're seeing a lot of trucks and SUVs that are what now, like electric, right? Okay, and there's some other things too. Check this out. This is not electric, but this is another direction that this Green New Deal is pushing us towards. So here's the result. Look at this, the all new 2021. I think it was 2022. I think this was a meme from a year ago. Chevrolet releases California compliant horse and buggy. Of course, the Babylon Bee. Oh, I should have looked at this a little closer. It's 2021. How do you like that? I wonder how they're selling. Yeah, you won't want to get them the first year, so wait till this year. Get a nice horse and buggy. There you go. Hey, 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 what do horses eat? What do horses eat? Hay. What do horses eat? They eat hay, right? That's right. Horses. I tell you, there was some wildlife in the house just before, in the studio here, in the spaceship, just before we started broadcasting. And it was making quite a bit of racket. And I had to capture the creature and take him back outside because he was making a lot of noise. You definitely would have heard this creature. It was a cricket. So there you go. But Buddy Holly wasn't here, just one of the crickets. So I captured him and I let him go outside, back into nature where he belongs. You know, it's kind of exciting. You got rockets shooting up. I mean, granted, we shouldn't be using rockets because we have anti-gravity, but it's kind of an exciting time. And you start to think, okay, wow, if I was in charge of NASA, what types of things would I be doing? So here's an idea along those lines. I saw this today. It's pretty interesting. If I ran NASA, it would be mandatory for the ground crew to be dressed as apes when the space shuttle lands. There you go, space shuttle. Another old one, huh? There you go. That would be cool, actually. Don't you think? Oh, yeah, I think. The expense and upkeep of a horse is more than some gas-fueled cars. That's true. Yeah. And you'll have to like capture their farts too, I'm sure, you know. You know, it all just reminds me, you know, when I lived in Minneapolis or in Minnesota, near Minneapolis, in a suburb, your cars had to go through these emissions tests, okay? A lot of your bigger cities have this. I was always able to get a pass because my car was old and at the time. And now I live in a place where that is not even done. So I'm really glad that I live in a place where that isn't even done. So, but it's only a matter of time, right? With these, if these fools get more power than they deserve for longer than they deserve. Yeah. Hey, Truth Social's back and going to try PayPal. Excellent, Peggy Dancer. That's good to hear. That's great that you have some resolution there. I wonder why they took you down in the first place. That's so sad. But I'm glad you're back up there. That's awesome. Awesome possum. Peggy Dancer is here. We're all here. And I'm just loving all you people being here. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And yeah, so interesting hearing Andy talk about Sasquatch and different things like that he saw. Very interesting indeed. So maybe now would be a good time to talk about, oh my goodness, Peggy Dancer, thank you for the super chat. Oh my goodness, thank you very much. We got Catherine Weiss and Peggy Dancer contributing tonight. Thank you very, very much. Here's a good one. Check this out. Thank you very much, Peggy. That is awesome. You rock. So do you, Kathy. And everybody. Look at this. Big day in the woods. And the alien comes up from behind. Would you like me to take that for you so you can be in it? Yeah, he looks pretty frozen there. He doesn't quite know what to do. That would be quite the predicament, huh? What would you do? I mean, your buddy's up there about ready to get smashed in the all-star wrestling antics of Bigfoot there. And then you got the alien. Well, actually, no. Can you go stand by Bigfoot? They're never going to believe me. Yeah. I love it. Our police force in Hollywood have converted their cars to natural. Oh, natural gas, you mean? Yeah, that's ridiculous. This whole thing, yeah. Most cars today, yeah, but there are old cars on the road. That's what they're trying to. That's what Cash for Clunkers did too. It got a lot of those off the road. But as much as I'm all for saving the environment, I also think that movement has been hijacked by the deep state to destroy our manufacturing and many other of our industries. That's my opinion. It's just my opinion. So there's a good one. Hope you got a little screenshot of that one. I'm really hoping that I maybe can get some information off of this old computer that won't even turn on. It turns on, that goes off right away. So it never is on. I might be able to, thanks to you all, some good advice to take out the hard drive and get it copied. That's going to have to be put on the back burner for now. Hello, Dark Brain. Welcome to the program. Well, here's some good news. You guys probably heard this. This is probably not new for you guys, but hey, judge suspends DOJ investigation of Trump, grants special master request as Trump requested. You see, one of the reasons that they can never get Trump is he's got the best lawyers, okay? He's got the best. And he's got the best legal advice. And he does everything by the book, by the law. That's why they can't get him. That's why they're frustrated, because all their friends are breaking laws, but they don't want to rat out their friends. They just want to get this guy. And it's just sad. It's sad, my friends. But there you go. I call that a win. Now they can delay it and delay it and delay it. So this will be really good. Otherwise, they were going to rush to some kind of indictment. Now they can't. See, this suspends the investigation. This is good. This is really good news. Hello, Dark Brain. And Cookie Miller, welcome to the program. Good to see you here. Cookie Miller, I like that. Good name. Hey, it's Back from the Future. Hello there. Back from the Future. Good to see you here. All right. Oh, well, that's awesome. A friend of Dark Brains. And Dark Brain's a good guy, so any friend of Dark Brain is a friend of ours. That's what I say. That's right. And you got to love a name like Cookie. That's awesome. In one of our old neighborhoods when I was a kid, there was a girl named Candy Bar. That was her name. Candy Bar. You know, I was opening up mail the other day, and I put this. There was one of my bills or something in this, and then I just put it down on the table, and I'm looking at it. I'm going, someone wasn't thinking when they designed this insert here. Oh, is it? See, it says. Can you see that? Go fart. Look at that. In Sturgeon Bay. Okay. I'm thinking, what? What is this? What is this? So I open it up more. It's like, well, you know, they should check this. It could go like that in the window. You don't want that, right? So here it is. Go further. Go further. I have to show up here. Go farther. Yeah. So I thought that was a kind of a funny little thing to see. Like, what? Why does it say that? Just a silly coincidence. But are there any coincidences? So here is that UFO that was put out today by Secureteam. And Secureteam 10, Tyler, great show, great guy. And people send him stuff from all over. So the deal was, so there's this high-powered camera getting something on the screen, and he's standing there with his phone recording that, and then he like pans up and shows like above some building. But I don't know. You know, I don't know. My first instinct on this after watching it a couple times, I don't think it's a real craft. I think it's a faked event because he wasn't saying anything. Sometimes when they just don't say anything, you know, it's suspect. Because if you're filming something like that, wouldn't you be, hello, celestial soul, good to see you here today. But wouldn't you be saying, wow, look at this UFO. I can't believe I'm getting it on tape. Oh, I can't believe I got my high-powered resolution camera trained on it, you know, or something like, you know, he's just totally silent. I don't know. You know, it just looks a little staged to me. Good evening. Good evening, Aaron and peeps. Well, thank you. Thank you, celestial soul. Welcome to the program. And so, but it looked like something that I've seen before. Oh, that's just a screenshot. Oh, here it is. So let's take a look at this, shall we now? Oh, gotta find it now. Gotta do it like this. I'm sorry, folks. I have to locate this. And then I can play it. I got a small screen. There it is. Oh, yes. All right. Now we're just going to play this. This is fair use. I hope that's okay with Secureteam 10, Tyler, that we play a little bit of this. But go ahead and go and I'll copy the link there. And I'll play this. Well,
get that angle as well. And just from my basic.
Let me find a spot where it's okay. Let's watch it from right about here. Here it is. See that? See, he's claiming that he's filming that sky, but I don't see anything in the sky at all. And then magically it's in frame on that thing and he's not really operating it. I don't know. But
hey, what's up, guys? Tyler here with Secureteam. So wanted to post this quick video. I know you're probably shocked and appalled that I post.
Anyway, so that's the crazy UFO. Look at that thing. So, what do you guys think of that? It's pretty interesting, don't you think? babysat for 3 girls today. Wow. Named today, tomorrow, and yesterday? Oh my goodness, Peggy, really? Well, you know, it's only like 50 or 75 bucks to change your name. Then when they get old enough, they can change them. Oh. Oops, sorry about that. All right. All right. Hello, Mad Pogue. Welcome to the program. I hope that my computer doesn't freeze up tonight, as it did yesterday during the show with Andy. But that's what this computer does. Until I get my new one, it's going to be easy go. Well, treading lightly, I guess. Treading lightly. So now that craft, which I'm going to get a better, closer up look of it. Here we go. You see that? You see that shape? Okay. Just remember that shape, all right? It's cool looking. I mean, it's a cool looking craft. So just keep that in mind. Keep it in mind. All right. So I remember this. This is what it reminds me of. Do you remember this, folks? Yes. The Cylon Raider. They're coming. They're here. The Cylon Raider. Oh, you think it looks like a huge triangle? I guess it could on the side or something. I thought it had a curved look just like the Cylon Raider, which I think is one of the coolest looking spaceships ever. I thought Battlestar Galactica had the coolest spaceships ever. Better than Star Wars, in my humble opinion. I thought that they had cool ships. Yeah, the sun isn't the problem. It's the Cylons. Yes. Stop the humanoid. Stop the intruder. Yes. The enemy of all mankind, built by an alien race that then died out. But the robots keep building themselves with the one sole purpose in mind, to wipe out all of humanity. How despicable. How despicable, but boy, it really made for a good story. I really thought that Battlestar Galactica was a cooler movie than Star Wars. I thought the story was better. That was my opinion. I think the editing was better in Star Wars, but I thought the overall story, ships and everything, and the interlocking story was better for Battlestar, I thought. That's just what I thought. And for all of those of you who may have missed that, may have missed that show back in the day, well, there he is. You can't beat that costume. I mean, that costume is incredible. Incredible. Love it, love it. Can't get enough of it. You started watching Caprica? Okay, was that maybe one of the more modern versions? Because Caprica was one of the planets, and they had 12 planets near each other. They all had life. They all advanced very quickly because they traded with each other. And like Sagittara, they're all like our astrological signs. Variation of those. That's all the planets were, all these 12 planets. Then there was the mythical, the legendary, possibly not true, but they didn't know, that 13th colony that set off on a journey to find a lonely planet called Earth. Earth! Don't bring the Cylons there. Yes, you can't get enough of the chrome. But actually, you know, for a fighting force, it wouldn't be a very smart idea, because you'd be like a glowing target for anybody that shines a light on you, right? That's right. But as far as looking cool, these guys had it down. That red light going back and forth. Too cool for school, man. These guys were it. That's right. Hey, Pixie Dusted. Hello there. Welcome to the program. We're doing good. How are you doing? Doing good, doing good. So that's the Cylons. I know they're evil. I know they're bent on destroying humanity, but they had a cool designed suit, or you know, robots, whatever they're supposed to be. There were suits. There was people inside. So I can appreciate the art and the design behind it without backing up the motives and things that they allegedly did in this fictitious story. Great, great. And you know what else is great about the Cylons is it's an enemy that you have no remorse killing, because it's not alive. It's not a being. It's a robot. Therefore, no soul. So it's really the perfect It's the perfect enemy. I mean, you're never going to have post-traumatic stress disorder from killing a robot. I mean, you'll be a hero. Everybody will think of you as a hero for doing that. You know? Oh, did you hear that France got the okay to start making robotic armies? Army men? Really? Oh yeah. They just slipped it by when no one was thinking about it. Boom. No one really picked up on it. Little story. Oh yeah. They keep marching on, folks. They're not going to give up. I mean, this is insidious. I don't know what we're going to have to probably do is, make like trap doors at our front door. So if they come to your front door, just plink, they go down into the fiery pit. Something like Dr. Evil had, right? Yeah, and you'd have to constantly having to polish the chrome to keep them looking so intimidating. Yes. They get all corroded if they go on some certain planet, and they gotta like get the old rubbing compound out and polishing compound. Cylons, Borg, altered carbon. I see the theme here. Okay. Yeah. Well. La 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 la. Where is that other one? Oh, I don't know where it went. Oh well, we got one of them. We got one. All right, we've been looking at that guy long enough. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not a fan of AI either, not even a little bit, right? No. Yeah, it's... Did you hear what Trump said about the China dust? Is he talking about the titanium dioxide they found in the masks? Or is he talking about the virus? Which do you think it is? Hello, my name is Dee. Welcome to the program. And D is D1. Right there. Here at the Truth Quest, because we're just downrange of strange, where the outrageous is contagious, and the paranormal is the new normal. Oh yeah. Oops. That's right. Oh, that is right. Okay. Alrighty then. Well, guess what popped up today on my news feed, on my timeline? Good to see you too. My name is Dee. So I was pleasantly surprised when this popped up, a post from 5 years ago with two pictures. This was one of the pictures of one of these. It's like a blue-tailed teal or something like that. My mom carved. So it was at Woodwalk Gallery, but it had already sold 5 years ago when I posted this. But yeah, she's an internationally awarded, winning competition carving and painting And when you do these, if you get into this, it's like so intense because not only does it have to look like a duck, it has to, the carving has to be just right. The painting, the wood burning, everything has to be just right. But for the competition, for some of them, they have to also float them. They have to float just right. Oh, it's floating too low. Oh, it's floating too high. No, it has to float. Isn't that incredible? Some of them do. So that's some wild stuff. Yes, that's my mom carved that. Yes. And this one, she's pruning her feathers, and she's got one of her feathers turned up. Isn't that cool? I know it, isn't it? She's amazing. People think they're real ducks. And do you know how many ducks there are? My mom's done almost all of, well, probably not all of them, but many, many, many of them. Oh, your mom is so talented. Thank you, Catherine. Or like we like to call her, Kathy. Yeah, I've been suspended from Twitter too. Thank you, Mud Rabbit. Yeah, she's incredible. She started working for this company called the Wooden Bird in St. Bonifacius, Minnesota, years ago. And she was one of their top carvers, if not the top. And now she's all on her own. Oh, thank you, Cheryl. Oh, that duck reminds me of God. Wow. I see feathers layered perfectly together, united and protecting. Oh, that's interesting. Very good. Greetings from Knoxville, Tennessee. Austin Morris is in the house. All righty then. Hey there, Knoxville. Mr. Knoxville. I always like to pronounce the silent letters because I feel like the silent letters are being discriminated against. We should have a new curriculum that pronounces all of the silent letters. I'm surprised they're not pushing something like that. It's just crazy enough for them to push. Don't you think? So, okay, there's another view of this duck I would like to show you. It's probably a better view of it, really. Isn't that sweet? Look at that thing. Oh, it looks like his eye is kind of halfway closed too. And she really did an awesome job on that one. Wow. Incredible, incredible. Look at that. Isn't that wild? My mom, it was her birthday on the 1st. Happy birthday, Mom. Still have to get out there. And Back to the Future chimes in. Thank you, buddy. It's so realistic. Thanks, Dark Brain. Adorable. I think it's a she, but I'm not sure. Could be a he. You know, there's so many ducks. It's hard to keep track, you know. Her name is Marge Moriarty. Marjorie. So that's her name. And she makes the best cookies too. So not only does she make awesome ducks and birds, she also makes really good cookies. I just had some. There's only crumbs left, but they're good crumbs, you know? Good crumbs. So that's good. And another piece of lovely art I'd like to show you. And that is this. Check this out. This is like a tactic, or like a touch blanket for a baby. And this was made by our good friend Mud Rabbit. Mud Rabbit made this. Isn't that cool? Got all those little creatures and critters in the coral reef down there, and the little fishies floating about. Isn't that wild? Tactical, yes. Tactile. Tactile. That's it. Yes, tactile. Yeah, tactical and tactile. You know, why do so many words that sound very similar but mean different things? You know, people who come here from other countries, I bet it's like super confusing. This language we have. You know, it's just a weird language. Oh, Mud Rabbit, you're so talented. Yes, she is. That is really cool. I like that. Yeah, Dark Brains also amazed. Amazing work. That's the baby blanket I made for my older grandson after he was born. Aww. Wow, that is beautiful. And it's not small. No, it doesn't look small. I think you could put the whole baby on there. It could roll around. Yes, there are creatures in the reef. Yeah, little anemones and little octopuses and stuff. Very cool. Now look who else is joining us here. Jacob Waters. Welcome to the program, buddy. Yeah, we're looking at some of Mud Rabbit's awesome art, fiber art. Very cool. Very cool. Do I mind if I share my video? Go ahead, man. You can share it. That's cool. Yeah. All right. Sometimes when I go to click a message and then they move, and then, yeah, it's something. Yes. Isn't that nice? You hang that on the wall. Don't let the baby get it all dirty, right? Hang it on the wall. Be a nice decoration for the room too. Oh, she had a blast making it too. Oh, I bet. Yeah, it's a fun one. Lots of, you get to use almost every color in that one. That's pretty cool. My mom did a lot with yarn. She made Afghans, and I'm not talking about people from Afghanistan. I'm talking about those blankets with the holes in them. They're crocheted. She went nuts with the crochet. She crocheted everything. And it was amazing. Yarn. Been yearning to do some yarning. There you go. Yearning to do yarning. Afghans, you've made those. Yes, yeah, right? Yep. And shawls and other things like that. Over the years. Okay. Years, not just year. Gotcha. All right. So that's pretty cool. What else we got cooking here? Oh, you know, the other day I was rushing out of the house and I was on my way to go meet some people, my friend Heidi Pop and her family. And so I'm in the car, I'm going, okay, I'm feeling my face, like I shaved my face. Then I'm like, I felt my nose, like, oh no, oh no, oh no, I forgot to trim my nose hairs. So that reminded me, I better see, we got one of our sponsors here is what I should have used before I went there. And here it is. Yes, this is the ever popular, ever famous Epimanly. And here it is. Is this it? Oh, I found it. Here it is, folks. Now, this is our sponsor. So this is the Epimanly. So check this out.
Epimanly, for the well-groomed man of the 90s. Epimanly gently removes unsightly nose hairs, and because Epimanly takes the hair from the root, you can go longer between trimmings. Epimanly's patented lift and yank action gently lifts and yanks the hair from the root. Epimanly's turbine rotary blades cast a gentle breeze over your face. Epimanly, for the well-groomed man of the 90s. Sold at fine stores everywhere. Epimanly, Epimanly, for the well-groomed man of the 90s.
There you go. For the well-groomed man of the 90s. Can you guess when that was made? Oh, yeah. That was from back in the...
On every vacation
whoa,
at a rebel home, there's someone like you.
Uh-oh. We don't want that. There we go. Got rid of it. Yes, that was the Epimanly. Yeah. Cable access. We're talking 1991, 92. And I did a bunch of those. So if you scroll down on my channel, if you scroll down way back into the before the big flood, no, it was after the flood, but way down, you go way on down, and you'll find all those there. There's one for, I had a show on cable access called Commercial Break, and I made spoof commercials, okay? It's one of the shows I did. We also did a video show, kind of like MTV, but we went to the record companies and we got the videos from the record companies in Minneapolis. And we had all Minnesota artists on the show called XTV, Extreme Television, Minnesota's only music video showcase. That's when I lived in Minnesota. And I also did these commercials. So, yeah. We did one for Schmelnick and Schmelnick law firm. And also the famous lens crackers. We can crack your fine, high-quality eyewear in less than an hour. So go check those out. We'll be playing those in future shows as our spoof sponsors. They're, you know, there's no product really. It's kind of like a dad joke, but so there you go. Yeah, the Epimanly for the well-groomed man in the 90s. Yes. We also did a show called Space Cadets, and you can find our only 2 episodes that we ended up doing. We did a lot of promos, but only 2 episodes. I was not around for the editing. I cannot take credit for the really bad editing, but it's quite funny. You might enjoy it. It's also from the early 90s. And a good friend of mine, Madison, did the computer animations for us, our spaceships and everything. We're all computer generated back in the early 90s. So we were way ahead of the game there. We were producing some pretty cool stuff over there in the Mini Apple. Yep, that's back when I was young. I was young. You know what? But today, I'm younger today than I'll ever be, ever, for the rest of my life. Right now, I'm the youngest I'll ever be. I'm also the oldest I've ever been, but I'm the youngest I'll ever be. Every day. Oh, did you see the Space Cadets, Austin? Did you see the videos? Gosh, I wonder if I should show those. I might be embarrassed. Like I said, I did not edit it. My buddy Ray Kramer edited it, and he's passed away now. He died in 2019, sadly. Very sadly. Oh, Space Cadets. Space Cadets and the Pirates of Doom. Okay, I'm going to click on this. Uh-oh. There we go. Okay. All right. Now we gotta minimize that. Up. There we go. That's good. There we go. All right. I think this is going to work now, friends. So, oh, that was your mother's nickname for you, Space Cadet? Well, maybe we could watch a little bit of it here. I don't know how it's going to turn out. The videos are kind of choppy. I don't know if you've noticed or not, but when I play a video, it's kind of choppy. I might be doing something wrong. Oh, there's this video file. What if I click on that? No, that's not going to work. It has to be a screen share. So yeah, I have to. All right, gotcha. Here we go. This is Space Cadets, and I put this out, gosh, when was it? I think the date is on it. Yeah, it's only had 195 views. This is Space Cadets, Pirates of Doom. Well, I wish I could get it fuller screen than that, but let me get over there. Okay, there it is. Are you ready for this, friends? I don't know how much of this we're going to watch. We'll watch a little bit of it, all right? Here we go. Oops. Oops. All the music is original too.
The year 2041, the Earth has successfully colonized its own galaxy. The precious metal corporations of the 20th century now rule space. Second most dangerous job in the stars, mining the asteroids of Mars. The first most dangerous job in space is protecting Earth. The coalition, fighting like a train to escort the mining shuttles back to Earth. Without these escorts, no cargo is safe from pirates. The Earth has cleaned up. Captain Aaron Morel command. Flagship of the coalition. Captain Zorro, veteran of the Battle of Phobos. Decorated hero, one of only 3 survivors. The Starbase Alpha, awarded the Purple Star for the Battle of Neptune. Stationed at the Starbase Omega, the most hostile military outpost in this galaxy, Colonel Albert Carnage, formerly the highest-ranking coalition officer, believed missing in action at the Battle of Phobos, now reaping his sweet revenge. With his ragtag army of space pirates, no coalition ships are safe. This is the mining Secureteam. We are on the pirate attack. Any and all coalition ships, please respond. Stay tuned for more Space Cadets and the Pirates of Doom. Extreme Television.
That's our other show.
Extreme Television, coming to you in 1995, right after Saturday Night Live.
That was our show. Uh-oh. That's not good. We don't want to play that. All right. So that's the Space Cadets. A whole lot of fun. And you know what? For the scenes where everyone was fighting, I got to show you something. And you might see this in episode 2. But this is one of the masks that I made for that scene. Oh, can you see it? So this is one of the alien masks that, we each made a bunch of them and had a bunch of people at the laser tag place at the Mall of America. That's where we filmed the fight scenes, the big battle scenes. Oh, you think that was cool, Dark Brain? Yeah. It was so much fun. I mean, it was an interesting time. I mean, I was working during the day at a place called Leisure Design, designing toys, inventing toys. And then, so doing that all day. And then after work, I would go to the studio, to the cable access studio, and crank out some of these episodes and some of this footage. And, you know, I had access to an early color printer at work at Leisure Design. And I was able to design and print out like a big, like a computer board, like you'd see on Star Trek. Then I made this like a cabinet for it, and I put a backlight in it so it was lit up. It looked like a computer panel, but this was 91, you know, so it was pretty cool. And there was one scene where I'm shaving my face, and I let my stubble grow out, so I had a pretty good shadow. And then what I did was I shaved like one strip down like that. So when I went to film, I put the laser shaver, which was just a little mini flashlight, and it would shine a light on my face. And then as I pulled it down, it looked like it was shaving because the object was covering the part that was already shaved. So, I mean, there was so many things we did like that, very small little details you might not, you know, notice or realize. But yeah, it was quite a production. Quite a production. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. So go check those out. There's 2 episodes. And sadly, Colonel Carnage, my arch enemy there, passed away, or supposedly, because as you heard, he allegedly died at the Battle of Phobos, but he was actually rescued by a race of robots that rebuilt him with robot parts. And now he's seeking his sweet revenge on me because I left him there to die on Phobos. We thought he was dead. It's not our fault. But try telling him that. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much. And someday I'm going to do an unboxing of a game I designed while I was there in the early 90s that was a really cool game. And I'm going to run and get the box for it, of the original version of it. I'll be right back. That didn't take very long. Here it is. Oh, can you see it? Oh, you know what? I have to take off the green screen for this, folks. It's not behaving very good. Settings, there it is. Here it is. Look at this game. Ripshot. This game is awesome. And you likely never seen it before because, yeah, there's a big story that goes behind it, but it did eventually come out in different colors. This was the far superior one. Never really made it to the market, unfortunately. But it's a fun game. And I was working for Leisure Design. And when we showed that to the first company we showed it to, Concept, they bought it. Parker Brothers bought it. Not only did they buy it, when a big toy or game company, this was Hasbro, but it was under the Parker Brothers nameplate. they pay the inventor a front money. The front money is kind of like, okay, we like your idea. We're going to go ahead and do this. Here's a big chunk of money so that you don't show it to anybody else. And it's a prepay on the incoming royalties. So normally back in those days, there's no average amount. I mean, it depends. A small item might only be 5,000. A bigger item might be 30,000. It depends on the complexity of the item, what it is and how complex it is. But Parker Brothers paid us a bigger front money fee check than they'd ever paid any other company in their 125-year history. It was $125,000. They couldn't believe it. They were freaking out on this thing. And they did a child test. They tested this game. It was a model I built out of white plastic. It wasn't decorated at all, the original one, when I first invented it. And they went nuts. They tested it. 28 kids. They tested it with 28 kids, and they tested Ripshot against their #1 selling boys head-to-head action game, which was Crossfire. You might remember Crossfire. It comes and goes. They bring it back sometimes. Sometimes it's not around. But great game. However, 24 of the 28 kids picked Ripshot, plain white plastic Ripshot, over the highly decorated, very recognizable and fun 30-year plus top selling game. So 24 of the 28 picked Ripshot, and it was something else. Bali was even talking to us about they were going to do the arcade version with the bubble over it. And we had the drawings for that. Everyone was ready to go. Now, sadly, when I left Leisure, and the reason I left was because even though I alone invented that game, and I was supposed to be getting like bonus checks, depending on if I sold items or not. So I got a salary, but plus I was getting that. Well, only 3,000 ended up in my pocket out of the 125,000. And I just thought that was just, I'm never gonna, that's a once in a lifetime thing. 30,000 is a lot. 125,000, and back in the early 90s, 91, that's incredible. Yeah. But you know what? It's a story. It's a sad story. It's a story about greed. The greed of my former boss. So it ended up not happening, even though they had $2 million plus invested in tooling, in an ad, a very cool ad, where these kids were operating these giant mechanical walls, and it was just really, really super cool. But man, wow. Yeah. It's the worst part about it is that I can't point at this massively successful product and say I did that, because my boss thought, they were the first people we showed it to. We can always sell it to someone else. I said, what? said, no way, look, Parker Brothers is part of Hasbro. Nobody has the advertising budget Hasbro has. Nobody. No one can compete. They're number one. They were the number one game seller in America at that time. Number one. They sold 80% of all games at that point in time. So it was a dumb move to pull it out of there. So so yeah, very sad, very sad. Boy, if you see the way it works is when you invent something that's a big hit, guess what? Everybody wants to buy your next idea. And so that was going to be really that was going to kickstart my career. Would have, if things would have went like it should have. So yeah, he wanted more. He wanted more than most people get because he knew how well it did in the test. Yeah, it was, man. Some people think they're great negotiators, but they're actually just deal breakers because they're too greedy. And I had no say in that part of it, which was really sad, really sad. Yeah. But anyway, I'll do an unboxing of that someday. Oh, let's see. Oops. Yeah, okay. I guess we'll do a little call in. If you guys want to call in, I'll put the I just got a message from one of the mods. So we're going to try and keep it to the show to about 2 hours, and we're about an hour 15 in already. The greed in media puts you out of business too? Yes. Yeah. It's really quite sad. And the amazing thing about Ripshot was, that was early 90s. Okay. There were a lot of electronic games, and electronics were very, very, a lot of them. And yet Ripshot, the game I designed, had no electronics whatsoever. And they gave us their highest amount of front money in 125 years. Now, usually the higher amounts did go to the electronic toys. But so it was amazing on a lot of different levels. And so I look at it as a success because to get as far as it did, it had to be good on its own, and it's a fun. We tested it with kids, and the kids just went nuts. One of the kids said, "You got to get mean to play this, because when you're playing, you can move the arms and you can ram it, and it's got like what do you call it? Flippers, thumb activated flippers, and the walls move." It's just a really cool game. And the way I thought of that game was something fell off my desk, and when it fell, it flexed on the ground. It like boinged, and I went, wow, that's a neat action. What if the walls on a game with a ball would flex? And that's the whole thing came from that, just from watching something fall and hit the ground. And that was the genesis. So you never know what can be the nub, the little thing that could lead you to ultimate success. So don't discount the little things. Little things are really big things. Yes, and when I did Tetragon, I really wish I could have put out Ripshot. However, I was working for a different company, and they have all the rights to it, not me, even though I invented it. So that's a little difficult too. So yeah. But of my other game ideas, which I have a lot of them, Tetragon was the least expensive to get on the market, and also one of my favorite games of my inventions. Really, it really is a great game if you like thinking games, quick thinking games. Tetragon 2 is for you. But yeah, but however, you know, oh, looks like we got someone. Device is not connected. Okay, you'll need to connect your mic and camera before you can add them to the stream. Okay. Do I have to add that? No. So whoever's calling in, you'll have to devices are not connected. Connect your microphone and your camera. Oh, is that Mudrabbit calling in? Let's see. Well, let's get something up there while we wait for Mudrabbit to get that up. Here's some good news, folks. Some really good news. How apropos, right when I clicked on this, Peggy Dancer puts this up. No way. Can you believe it? Reminds me of speeches made by Robert F. Kennedy, the mindless and malice of humanity, a speech for humanity. Goodreads, yes. So listen to this. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has just kicked the door in and opened up a can of worms for every government in the world. Once again, the truth prevails. No media is talking about this, neither here in Australia, nor in Europe, or in the USA. It's up to us to spread the word. Supreme Court ruling. Hardly anyone noticed that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. won the case against the pharmaceutical lobbyists. In the ruling, the Supreme Court confirms that the damage caused by the therapies is irreparable. As the Supreme Court is the highest court of the United States, there's no further appeals, and the appeals have been exhausted. Nuremberg Code is now valid. Well done, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Once again, the truth prevails. Yes. Mind blown. Oh, that's not you? I wonder who it is. Still can't get him up there. Gotta connect your camera. You think it's BFTF calling in? BFTF. BFTF. Well, BFTF. Don't know what that is. Can't put them on there yet. I can't even get them up on the screen because it needs the things connected. So yeah, see, we hung in long enough. All the craziness is fading away. You know, I have a feeling that in 1918, it was much the same with the Spanish flu. I think that was a pandemic too, because more people died from the, Back to the Future. Okay, Back from the Future. BF. TF. Okay, gotcha. Back from the future. Thank you, Peggy Dancer. Yeah. But yeah. See, the Invisimask saved us again, folks. Oh, so if you're on an iPhone, it's easier to access by going through the web activity directly. Through the web directly. Yeah, it's a web-based thing, so it should work on everything. I think you have to give permission to StreamYard to access your camera and your microphone. Okay, the mayors and cable companies put a moratorium on my sales, so I fought like a daughter of the American Revolution. Moratorium on your sales? Okay, well, that's too bad. Yes, you give permission, but you have a second option to turn off the camera before entering the studio. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Or, you know, I like on, do you remember on the Jetsons? When Mrs. Jetson would get a call, she'd get a call from somebody, and she maybe had her hair in curlers or something. So she had this little, like a made up face with perfect makeup on it. She'd hold up in front of her face when she'd do the video call. I guess it's like the what do you call them? The filters that give you bunny ears and things. But it was like something you hold up. It's so funny. All in all, I think they did a pretty good job of predicting the future, although we haven't gotten there yet, sadly. Sadly. Okay, we're going to share something else while we wait for whoever it is to connect. Back from the future, maybe. Maybe he's in the past right now and he's not back into the future yet. Well, folks, I'm sure that some of you might know that my other computer, which I had like 3 years of my work, graphics and my book and all kinds of stuff, is, for all intents purposes, it's dead. It will not turn on. And so I don't know if I'll ever be able to get information off of that thing. So in the meantime, I'm redoing the art again for Awesome Possum. And this is the first picture that's almost done. Needs a little more tweaking to be done. And then we'll be on our way again. So that's the Awesome Possum. So he's coming along. But you know, it's luckily I did print out each page. So I have a hard copy of each page, but I have to redraw all of it. I have to basically retrace everything and the backgrounds and but you got to do what you got to do. And you know, someday I'll be able to afford to get some kind of backup system. But I've really only ever been able to back up things with CDs, and I have piles of CDs everywhere. But you can't fit much on those these days, you know? Oh, thank you, Peggy Dancer. Even if your PC is dead, it's a Mac. It's an iMac. A good tech should be able, yeah. There's a guy around town here named Mac Daddy. I might call him. I'm just, I don't need any more bad news. If he comes back and says, no, it's fried, it's all gone. I just can't, I just don't want that right now. So I'm just going to try to remember what I did in the last 3 years and try to do it again. Quicker, maybe better. Yeah, that'll eventually have to do that. Hello, Edward Taylor. Welcome to the program. Just have Andy go in the past and save it. Yeah, well, unfortunately, he doesn't have time travel. They don't give you your own chronovisor at the end of the program. Apparently, they just keep it all themselves. Oh, you can't enable StreamYard with your mic? Okay. Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you're having troubles. I'm sorry that you're having troubles. But maybe my computer was supposed to crash, and maybe I'm supposed to redo all this stuff that I've already done. Maybe that's part of my mission, to redo things over and over and over again, kind of like Bill Murray, right? Groundhog's Day. Well, I just don't want to put my number out there. I had some stalkers. My last time I was on the air back in the mid, like 2006, 2007, 2008, this crazy guy was harassing me, and I just don't need that possibility of that happening again. You never know who might get it. It looks like Ralph is here. Hello, Ralph. Good to see you here. Oh, propagate this light. Is there someone like that in here? I don't want to, if this is, this might, I don't know who this is. It's not in, no one in the chat. Is propagate this light in the chat? Anybody? Please tell me. I don't know. I'm gonna check something. So hold on a bit here. Okay, do a little sleuthing here. Get a little verification going. Propagate this light. Now, I apologize, but hey, you know, I gotta make sure that it's on up and up here. Okay.
So, yeah, he's a smooth brother.
Okay. Mandela Effect. All right. Well, let's let this person in. Hello, propagate this light.
Hey, how are you doing? Nice to be here. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Oh, there you are. You are in the chat. All right.
Yes.
So you're into the Mandela Effect, it sounds like.
Yes. Mandela Effect, esoteric topics, out of body experiences, et cetera, et cetera. And
Sure.
and time travel. By the way, I was just listening to your last stream with Andrew Basago.
Bashago, yeah. Bashago.
I just paused it because I seen you were live, so I thought I'll come on to say what's up. And I would love to have him, come over to my channel if it's possible,
Okay. Well, he is doing a number of shows that when he first came out about a year ago or so, he only wanted to do just my show. And I was puzzled by that because, I have a very small channel but he said that, I know his story well and he thinks I do a good job. And he saw my name in the future when he went into the future. And that's why he wants to do work with me. So I know that he is branching out and doing other shows. I'm not really in control of what he does. I can make suggestions and that's up to him. But I'll put your name in. Okay.
That sounds good. So if you could tell me, like, how did he see your name in the future? Where did he? What actually happened?
He doesn't remember. I mean, it's like 50 years ago or 40 years ago. It's a long time to remember. He's got an amazing memory, but he can't remember every single thing. But he does remember seeing my name somewhere in the future. One of the times when he was either looking at things in the chronovisor or if he went somewhere in the future and saw my name. And I asked him, I said, what was it in reference to? Because I do lots of things. I'm an Elvis impersonator. I'm a toy inventor. Lots of different things. I'm an artist, a children's book illustrator and writer. So toy inventor, lots of things. So he said, well, I think it was for your journalism. I thought, wow, journalism. Interesting. And we've become pretty good friends. We're actually the same age. Yeah, he's a really nice guy. And he's been blind for the last 3 years. That's why he hasn't been on the internet. And so
wow,
he's getting back, and he's in dialysis 3 times a week. So the amount of time he has is limited because those days really take it out of you. It's a horrible process. But
yeah. So that's why he wasn't on video on that stream.
Right. Yeah. He doesn't. Yeah. He does not have internet access right now. But he's very active on the phone, and he's in contact with lots of people. So yeah, and his story is so amazing. There's so many different parts of his story that. Have you ever heard of his story about what was it? It was this town in Indiana. It was either Evansville or Owensville, one of those two. So he was sent into the past on the day that on Pearl Harbor Day. But he was sent back into the past 2 years before Pearl Harbor in this Owensville, Indiana place. And after teleporting there, or I think they got there, no, not teleporting, they time traveled there. They were hungry. It was 2 boys, Andrew and another boy in the program. And they were hungry, and they went into this general store, and they had some candy there, and they each got a candy bar, and they gave the man some money. And before they walked out of the place, the man said, "Hold on a second there, kids. Come on back here. I can't take this. This is fake money," because it had a different date on it. Had a future date. So he wouldn't accept it. And they were bummed because I guess this process makes you really hungry. And they got yelled at again by someone else. And they said, "You know what? let's leave him a message. They were kind of ticked off a little bit. So they found some chalk and they drew some chalk either on the pavement or on the side of a building. He can't remember exactly what it was, but they wrote, "Remember Pearl Harbor." Because Andy remembered that when he was traveling there, when he had breakfast, he was reading the paper, and that's what day it was. Historically, it was the day that the anniversary of Pearl Harbor. And so he wrote that. And 2 years later, I mean, this made it to the paper, like someone vandalized and wrote this on the wall or the whatever it was. And it said, no one could figure out what it meant, "Remember Pearl Harbor." And then 2 years later, we went, holy crap. What's the excuse for this? And there's always been a puzzle until Andy remembered it. And then I called up that town and talked to the librarian and told her the story. I'm not sure if she believes it or not, but so yeah. Interesting, huh?
Hmm.
Isn't that
Yeah,
cool?
definitely.
Had you ever heard that story?
Yeah, I think I did. I've been researching Andrew for many years, like way back for me,
Okay.
maybe like, man, I would say maybe I'll just give or take about 9 years ago. I've been looking into a lot of his speeches or his speaking different shows on YouTube or whatnot. And I just happened to decide to search him up a couple of days ago. And then that's how I came across your stream. So I've been listening to your stream. I was literally listening to your last stream before I got on this live right here.
That's cool, man. I appreciate that. I don't advertise, so it's a miracle that you found it. So I'm glad that you did.
Right.
And so feel free to share it if you like. And we need to get the word out more. People need to know about this story because I think, it's definitely the most detailed account of something like this that I've ever heard.
Right. I mean, I think his story is very fascinating, and I'm definitely interested. That's why I was like, man, I need to get him on. I bring people on my channel, and we have discussions about, like you said, Mandela Effect and different topics under the esoteric subject. So I thought he'll be a good fit for that, But it's so crazy that you said that he's blind right now, huh?
Yes, he thinks he was blinded by some of the technology he was exposed to, or perhaps even an attack to keep him from spreading the word. So, but
my goodness,
he's we did a fundraiser for him. I've done several shows. That was my 10th show with him. I had 2 more before that. Then we did a series of 26 other shows, but those are all set to private right now. To be edited in the future, possibly.
Right. I was just about to bounce to another episode that you did with him, but then that's when I seen that you're alive. So I was like, let me try this out. So yeah, I definitely appreciate you running the check. That's a good way of doing it to make sure everything is official. Yeah.
Oh, I had a nightmare happen once. Someone, Back from the Future was there, and now he's gone. And it was a pornographic image, and it was just I had to edit that out, and I was worried that the channel would go down. It was very stressful. But so yeah, I always check if someone's not in the chat. So I'm glad that I did see you in the chat eventually. Yeah.
Right. I appreciate you bringing me on. I have rules on my channel as well, so I know how it is. So
yeah, you sound like a very cool guy. Yes. Oh, and we're gonna bring in Back from the Future. Do you know him? Back from the Future? Propagated Light? Okay. PTL. Do they call you PTL for short?
That's funny because someone for the first time referred to me as that yesterday, but no, they call me Prop, P-R-O-P.
Okay. Prop. Okay. Hello? Back from the Future?
Aaron, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you now.
Good grief. I had to swap browsers, completely get rid of the other one and change over. That worked.
Wow.
So, anyways, so joining in here and saying hi.
Hello. Uh-oh, there's some kind of feedback. Turn it down.
Maybe someone needs headphones. It's coming through his mic.
Yeah, there's a little bit of feedback. If you have a stream going or something, or it stopped now. Maybe he's put his headphones on.
Is that better?
Yeah. Wait, no. Every time either me or Prop talks, there's a strange, scratchy echo. Kind of like AG. Do you remember AG Bear? It sounds like AG Bear.
You just have to mute when someone's talking.
Oh, okay. I can do that for you. So just when you guys start talking, just mute it.
Yes.
Good idea.
Okay. I can do that.
All right. So did you have a story to tell back from the future?
Well, yeah, of course, man. That's yeah. I've had experiences with some time-related incidents that I think is pretty neat. And one of the things I was interested in was that listening to Andy and stuff. What I love his stories. It's fascinating. It's intriguing. It makes you think, and what if, and all this kind of stuff. But what I don't hear from a lot of people is any kind of warnings. Like, hey, people, like in 20 years, something's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't see that kind of conversation going on too much with not just Andy, but other people, and if they do, they're like way off, Yeah. But it was like I asked Andy last night, I'm like, do you know of a pending extinction level event that's supposed to happen in the future? Do you know anything about it? And are they actively trying to stop it? Mm-hmm. And the reason I asked that is because I partially know of that event. And yes, they are trying to stop it, but they have not stopped it yet. It's still there. So anyways, I think people should be asking questions like that, not, I don't know, just, what's relative to us important, to our existence. Like, are we going to get wiped out by this, these new viruses they keep making, or, what's happening here? Like, how do we stop this? How do we fight back? Is there anything we can do? Stuff like that, like trying to do something for ourselves instead of constant reacting,
right,
taking action in some form, like, and I think that action is possibly, if people know, hey, they're planning on nuking the oceans to cause, tidal waves in the next 5 to 7 years, I think that's something that everybody should know about. I mean, Lincoln's great and everybody's great and all this other, the past history is fine and stuff, but like there's events that are pending, that are in progress, that are pending, that are trying to happen. And there's people who are trying to hold it back from happening, like that's why I was asking Andy, do they know about these events? Are they actively trying to stop them? Or are they the ones that are trying to make these events happen?
Well,
like,
I do know that that when he was sent to 2045 to get microfilm from the year 2045 so they could see what happened from 1972 to 2045, it was a microfilm. And he had to stick it in his body cavity, which doesn't sound like very much fun, and teleport back. But he was not ever told what was on that microfilm. He did not hear, like you heard him yesterday talk about when his dad took him to Dulce, showed him the Dulce underground base that was completely empty. He said, "Gosh, Dad, why are you bringing me here?" He said, something catastrophic is going to happen here in the future. but he never told them what it was. So now there's been some catastrophic things that have happened there. One is the Dulce Wars that, who was that metallurgist that talked about that? Phil Schneider. And also there was a crash of an airplane near Dulce that was nuclear powered. I think they had 2 pilots in it, a pilot and a co-pilot. I think they got fried. They couldn't even go close enough to, it was too hot for too long. It was like a big nuclear event. That might be the catastrophe, or maybe something else. I don't know. What do you think?
I think you're on the right track. Yeah. I mean, the Greys are involved for sure. You know, I mean, that's the theme, you know. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You have some kind of reptilian theme, reptilian Grey, you know, working together and pretty much, I don't know, controlling the world through, you know, through these means, this coalition they have together. But I mean, so you're talking like cloning, you're talking about avatars, you're talking about virtual reality, you know, so it's not as simple as, oh, hey, these bad guys are doing this, because they're operating on all these other different levels, including time travel, and not just our you know, our government, but them too. Like, you know, this is serious business, man. Like, you know, if as soon as we invented space travel, obviously you're traveling in time at the same time, so you can't help but perform a form of time travel while you're space traveling. It's you know, time isn't a mission; it's just something that happens along with the movement. You know, so it's like time travel is a given that it's going to be figured out along with space travel. They go hand in hand. You know, but. Yeah, Dulce, you know, Phil Schneider, is that his name?
Yeah.
He lived about 20 miles south of me.
Wow.
And I knew a friend that knew him, and she called me one day and says, hey, somebody did in Phil Schneider, and they made it look like an accident. And I'm like, I didn't know who he was. I'm like, well, who's that? You know? And so she was like really freaked out, paranoid, because she lived in the same town as he did. And do you remember there was when they started talking about the Dulce Wars and stuff like that, there was several police officers of the county were part of that. Well, there was one police officer who I actually knew the brother of, and he had showed me a picture. He said, hey, this is my brother. And I was like, oh, cool. I didn't think anything about it, but I didn't realize at the time what he was actually showing me. Like, hey, and he was, you know, he tried to hint around, hey, I know things that would make your head spin. You know, yeah. He was trying to let me know without actually telling me anything to get himself in trouble, you know. But so yeah, so the Dulce stuff, it's actually a smaller group of people that, I don't know. There's people who know stuff, kind of. I think they find other people who know stuff, and they hang around them sort of without them knowing it. But so you remember last night I asked Andy, I said, are there active time machines or time portals in the future still active? The reason I asked Andy that is because the event that happened to me, I basically got lost in time. Okay. I was lost, literally lost. I didn't know how to get back home. And these group of military people beamed me back to this time that we're in now. And it was like this tractor beam thing. And they could beam people through time, through space, through time, to your correct time. And it took a little while because I was way, way out there. But, you know, I mean, we're talking, you know, 25,000 years, they beamed me back in time through this technology, this device. And it was literally like a laser beam, like a blue laser beam that cut through space and time. And they just, I don't even know how to describe it, but I haven't heard anybody really talk about that kind of device. Maybe I missed it or something. But so that's why I was kind of asking Andy, you know, like if these things are still operational, is it the same same group of people who are operating them? Is it the same technology? So I was trying to hopefully get some kind of conversation like that, but that didn't work out.
Well, he didn't. You know, he hasn't time traveled since I guess Mars traveled since the 80s. I guess he said that sort of a time dilation there, but it could have been. But the 80s would be the nearest, or the 70s. So there's no way for him to know what's going on now. I mean, really, realistically, I mean, what was your first job? What was your first?
My first job?
Yeah,
pulling weeds for an allowance.
Okay.
Pulling stickers out of the garden and getting paid for it. And mowing yards as a little kid.
Company.
So I'm sorry, say that again. My phone was being all strange.
The first company for.
Oh, me? Oh, yeah. Gosh. I mean, I don't even remember, some fast food place, I think, or whatever.
Oh. Yeah. All right. You have to hit your mute button. Here, I think I'll have to mute you. There you go. Yeah, well, the point I'm trying to make is, now, do you know what that company is doing now? Do you know who they're hiring, what kind of fryer they have now, or what kind of equipment they have? There's no way for you to know that because you've been not in it for many, many, many years. Same with Andy. So if you just think logically, okay, he was in 2 secret programs, one in the 70s and one in the 80s. He's not going to have really any knowledge of any newer ones because he's not been involved. So I don't know. That's my opinion.
I understand. Yeah. So, like, say when he went to 2045, the question I would have asked him is: the people you met there, were they part of the same group of people who sent you there, or did you feel like they were a different faction? And like you were trying to hide from them, like type stuff, which it kind of sounds like a little bit. You had to go in and get something and hide it. So it sounds like there was a different group of people running that. You see what I'm getting at? Like some events changed hands, the power shifted to a different group. But that's kind of what I was getting at.
Well, I don't know. He said that when they came back, they buried the thing, and then they had to go and get it from after they came back to the 70s. So they didn't bury it in the future because they wouldn't have access to it in the past. So.
Right. So say that, imagine this, like say there's actually some bad people who were running the past time travel programs here, and they were good, and then they got hijacked, they turned bad, and then later on the power shifted back and they're good. So they're in the future, say 2045, and here comes these, not saying Andy's bad, but the people who sent him maybe didn't have the best intentions. And so almost starts this like time war type thing between these past and future powers that are running this stuff. I think the power shifts like that, or it has shifted. And like by right about 2045, 2048, it shifts over to all the bad people who are in control are no longer in control. And now they're trying to like clean up this mess, basically. Like, hey, how do we fix these past wars? These guys are doing this. We see them, we see them come and go. We don't stop them. We just watch, stuff like that. So I think there's a lot of stuff going on that we just don't even realize.
Yeah, and there's no way for us to know. So it's who knows? How can and Andy going there? He was age progressed to go there. So he was in his 50s. he was age progressed for some reason. They had to, and when he came back, he had to be confined for like 2 weeks while what wore off. He became like a 9-year-old again. But yeah, so he was age progressed to his 50s, and then it wore off, and he was back being a kid again. That must have been freaky. But yeah, he wouldn't know. He's just a kid doing, I'm sure he got debriefed, but he's not going to be able to know, who's in charge or if they're good people or bad people. I don't know that there's any way that, you or I could know something like that. I mean, you have your intuition, but some people are pretty good actors. It's hard to say.
I'll tell you a quick story here, if you don't mind. It's kind of interesting, and it's kind of one of the reasons why I brought this up. I was in Walmart shopping, and I see this like cave woman who hadn't showered. She hadn't. I don't think she did showered her entire life. I think she was probably like 16, 17, maybe. She had shoulder length brown hair, maybe a little bit longer, matted. I mean, like you could never get a comb through it, period. There's no way. You'd have to cut it off. And her skin because she hadn't washed, her skin was dark from dirt stains, mud stains. I mean, you're talking literally like looking at a cave woman there in Walmart, and you're just, when you see it for yourself up and you realize what's going on, your jaw just drops. You're like, oh my God, that girl is not from this time. And so standing next to her is this lady that was dressed in a business suit, kind of striped clothes, horizontal striped clothes, black and white, and with a really wide brimmed hat that didn't fit what she was wearing. It was like, it was odd. It was really weird. And so anyways, I couldn't help but stare at this girl, not the younger girl, because I was just like, I realized that, hey, I saw this. I knew instantly this girl did not belong to this time, period. Like someone had extracted her out of this time, brought her to this time. So anyways, I see her, and this girl couldn't talk. All she could do was grunt and make noises, and she could smile, but she had no teeth. I mean, she didn't have shoes on. She couldn't speak. She could just grunt. I mean, you're talking literally a cave woman here. Like, I'm not kidding you.
You mean a Democrat?
Say it again.
You mean a Democrat?
I don't think they had those back then.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
So this lady that was next to her, I believe, to the best of my knowledge, from what I can, I'm trying to assess the situation there on the fly instantly, like you're just exposed to this and how do you react? The best I could gather is that she was like a time agent.
Oh.
I looked at her, she saw me looking at the girl, and I looked over at her, and she gave me this look like she knew that I knew that girl wasn't from this time, and she was giving me like a scolding look, like, don't you say a word. I will flat come after you. And it was like she didn't speak a word. She didn't have to. It was almost telepathic. And like I just understood instantly who she was, why she was there, and stuff like that. And so it was a really intense encounter, and no one else around me apparently everyone seemed oblivious to this, and I'm just like in shock that no one even is aware that this is happening. I'm like, oh my God, do you guys have any idea what is happening in front of you? I'm looking around, I'm just in awe that no one can see this. So anyway, so I go home and I go to bed that night, and one of the things I do is occasionally I will either get pulled through time via some means, whether you call it remote viewing. I don't think it's that. It's like I go through some kind of a time tunnel, as best I can describe it, where I can feel myself going through this. Anyway, so I find myself going through this time tunnel, and I'm warping, phasing, whatever you want to call it. And I don't know where I'm going. And all of a sudden I appear where this scenery, and I just knew that it was about 10,000 years prior to now. There's just, the air was crystal clear, like the ferns were really huge, the plants were bigger, stuff like that. The water was like perfectly clear, stuff like that. I knew I was back in time. I just didn't know when. Anyway, so I see this girl, and I see her, and she's sitting on these boulders and down by the creek, and she's wearing tennis shoes. And I was like, oh my God, that's that same girl. And that lady bought her some shoes and took her back in time. And then the girl looks over at me, and she, great big huge smile on her face, like you can't even believe how big a smile she had. She looks at me, and she stands up, and she starts running and jumping on from boulder to boulder to boulder with her new shoes. I'm like, oh my God, are you serious? I mean, so you've seen the pictures of like old Nike shoes, so they're like from millions of years old. Mm-hmm. It's like that. It's literally like that. Like, I think that's how some of those out of place artifacts get there, is like people, these time agents or somebody is doing that. They put them back there. Like, I think they're real, like, seriously. So anyways, so I had a confirmation that girl was a second confirmation that she was actually at a time, and I went to her time and place and saw her in her environment. And so anyways, it made me feel good, because it's like, there are time agents out there, and they were helping people. So I guess that's kind of what I was getting at, long story short, talking to Andy, like, in the future, of these time machines, these portals, these mechanisms still operational, and do you know which faction, good or bad, is in control, like that? That's kind of what I was asking.
I don't think that anybody who was in a past program could answer that question unless they're still in a program. And if they are still in a program, that's not to say that they would know about other programs, right? So yeah, Andy was in 2 top secret programs: Project Pegasus from 1968 to 1972. And then he was in Project Mars, which I believe was like 1980 to 82 or something like that, or 84. But those are the 2 secret programs he was in. But, it's the amount of information he's been able to remember and compile since his truth journey 15 years ago is incredible. But yet it's like he said, it's not enough. People want more. It's like, well, he's really, and he's a lawyer. He knows what it takes to prove a case. His case has been proven. It's just really sad that, we don't have a media. If we had a real media, his story would be out there, I believe. Big time. Mainstream. What do you think, Propagate?
Well, like you said in your last interview, he was just saying, like, well, all these other things are on the forefront. Why not what he's been talking about? He's been doing it for years. And I know that because I've been following, I haven't followed everything he's done. Right. I probably missed a lot, but I'm well aware of the things he's been talking about. And so, I think that maybe a lot of people may not be ready for it, but who am I to say? Maybe they can get ready for it. Be like, if new data. This is reality, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, it may be hard for people to, merge with that. What do you call it? That reality. That, okay, this is what it is. And then, like you said, some people put him down along the way, like try to say that what he's talking about is crazy and it's not real. I think he was talking about some guy. I forgot the name of the guy that was on Coast to Coast, talking against him. And I think I heard that episode too.
Okay.
I heard that episode also. Wow. I think his name is Stuart Rinslow or something like that, or Sergeant something.
Swerdlow?
Yeah, Swerdlow or something, I think,
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I'll just put it like this, I guess, like it says, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. So I've been ready. So I've been already following him and I'm pretty sure a lot of other people have as well. And I can't say for those that are not even into that type of stuff, they may not even be watching that. They may be watching TV or something, you know.
Right. Yeah.
So those would be the people, in my opinion, that'll be probably take some time to like really take this as their truth as well.
Right. You know, and there was a UFO researcher that was scouring patents, and he found a patent that listed Andrew's dad in regards to a previous filing that he did on an 8-sided bismuth crystal, which Andrew's been talking about for years before that. So there's his dad's name on a patent about something that he's been talking about. So there's verification right there on a patent. So that's remarkable. I mean, it's amazing how much he's got.
Right. And yeah, I just wasn't aware that he's blind right now. I feel so sorry for him having to go through life being blind.
Well,
how did he?
He will see his dad. His dad died in 1990, and but he knew what was going to happen. He knew when he was going to die. That's why he told Andy a month before he died to be the whistleblower. You know, to tell the world.
Right.
But I forgot the point I was trying to make. Gosh. Yeah, it's hard keeping track of all the things that he has experienced and talked about, but it's just so much.
Yeah, I mean,
his dad said that you will, before he was blind, he said you will go blind in your late 50s, but you'll eventually have an operation that corrects your vision. You'll get your vision back. And he also told him that he'd lived to 117.
Right. Because he did say that he's seen himself in court at the age 90.
Oh wow, really? I didn't hear that. That's interesting. Yeah, there's always something new he talks about.
Yeah, he was speaking about that on that last broadcast I was referring to.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but like you said, there's so much coming at you. It's kind of hard to keep up, but it's very interesting, you know.
Yeah, and when I'm doing a show, I'm, as you know, sometimes you get sidetracked. You're looking at the chat, or you're trying to make sure things are on the page, and I have to watch it over again to catch everything. Yeah, it's tough.
Man, yeah, you definitely. That's what I go through as well.
What's the Mandela effect that got you hooked?
Okay, so I was speaking in the chat like 10 minutes ago.
Oh,
so
sorry about that.
I have a personal experience. Oh no, I'm saying like I was speaking about the Mandela effect. So it's interesting that you asked that because I was just speaking about it, and the two biggest ones to me, well, I would say the personal ones, Heavens, and also, are you familiar with the wholesale store called Costco?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you. Okay, how do you spell it?
COS. You know, I don't shop there. I haven't been there in years. COSCO, Costco.
Lovely. That's how I recall it. What about your other guest? I forgot the name.
Back from the Future.
Okay, Back from the Future. How does Marty spell Costco? Marty McFly.
Yeah.
How would you spell Costco? Back to the Future.
I'm gonna look it up on the intranet.
COSKO.
That's really bad. That's a Costco. So it's a T, COSTCO now. Costco. That does look funny. You know what else prop is, just a few years ago, they put a new auto parts store here O'Reilly's Auto Parts. And within a year, it changed to O'Reilly. And even the people in there working, I went in there, and after it changed, I went, hey, what's the name of this place? O'Reilly's. Oh, then S in the end? They said, yeah. I said, well, look at your sign. And they freaked out. What? They freaked out. So that could be one too. The one that got me was, Luke, I am your father. On Star Wars. That's the one that got me. You ever heard that?
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with the movie. I never watched it straight through, but it's a very interesting movie. I like that type of movie.
I think
so. I'm not familiar. I'm not familiar with it.
Third one. It was the second or third one. The one where Darth Vader reveals to Luke Skywalker that he's his father. So in the version I remember very vividly, he said, Luke, I am your father. But now he says, no, I am your father. He doesn't say Luke. And even in my old VHS copy of it, it's changed. I checked. That freaked me out.
Wow. Yeah, it I guess it's the causality, I think people call it, changes in the present or in the past. But maybe we just shifted into a different reality. I'm not sure about that. What do you think about that?
Anything's possible, when Japanese oh, this looks like Back from the Future is trying to say something. When the Japanese scientists and mathematicians figured out that this is a hologram, then that opens up the possibility for multiple holograms to be, multiple different timelines, so who knows? Oh, Costco store, Costco shipping. Okay, Costco shipping, Costco store. Okay.
Yeah, I noticed that as well. There's a shipping company it's spelled the way that the store used to be spelled to me, anyway. But I have something interesting to speak on when it comes to Costco, because you asked me which ones are my biggest ones. And so real quick, I'll just get into why those are my biggest ones. It's Heavens in the original KJV, and it's also Costco. So just real quick, I was sitting in the Costco parking lot one day. This was years ago. And I was just looking up at the sign, and I was just like looking at it. And then I was like, you know what? I think it makes more sense if there was a T in it. Just had a quick thought. Didn't think nothing of it, And then about a week later, I hopped online after, sometime after that. But about a week later, I got back online. And some people in the Mandela Effect community were saying that Costco now has a T in it.
Yeah, wow. Interesting. And the Berenstein Bears, of course, is a big one for a lot of people.
Right.
Yeah, it was Berenstein, not Berenstain. And what's the other one? Oh, yeah. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest of them all? That's what I remember. Now it's magic mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest of them all? No, it was mirror, mirror. Definitely.
Right. And the three little pigs, huff and puff, and what? What would you say it would say next?
I'll blow your house down.
Right. But if you look now, it says, I'll blow your house in.
Really?
Yeah.
What? And what about the lion shall lay down with the wolf shall lay down with the lamb instead of the lion in the Bible? That's changed.
Right. And also, are you familiar with Genesis 1:1?
No, enlighten me.
The original KJV, it says God created the blank and the earth. What would you say it says?
The heavens and the earth.
Right. So I was studying the Bible some years ago, just real quick, some context. And I stopped at that part. I was just stuck at that part because I wanted to really understand what I'm reading. So I'm like, heavens, I was kind of under the impression there's only one heaven. So that's why I was stuck at that part. So you know what? I just said, I just wrote it down on a separate piece of paper so I could just read over it later. And then that was years ago. And then one day I heard about the Mandela Effect, and I thought it was just something someone made up to distract people from what's important,
Yeah.
And I said in my head, in my thoughts, I said, you know what? Maybe I'll look into this if this one thing changed. And that one thing was that Bible verse that I knew for sure. I just chose that Bible verse. So one day I went to my Bible. Now, some people jump Bibles, but I always stayed with the same Bible.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went back to that same Bible that I had a year earlier. And I just, to humor myself, I opened it up to that part and I read it. And then that's when my mouth fell to the floor because that one thing was heavens, just like you said. And now there's no S on it.
Oh, really? Wow. Well, maybe you are influencing it because you were thinking that. Now, have you ever seen the movie The Lathe of Heaven?
No, I haven't.
Got to see it. It was done by PBS years ago. It's a really brilliant show. It starts out with this guy. It's like there's a big nuclear war or a Holocaust, or the world is crumbling, and this guy is by a railroad tracks and he's falling down. He's dying, but before he dies, he forces his eyes closed and he dreams, because his dreams come true. And he dreamt he was at home and everything was okay, and everything was okay. And then he was going crazy because whatever he dreamt came true. And he went to a psychiatrist because he thought he was going crazy. And the psychiatrist had a very little office. We went in, and when he went out, now it's a gigantic tower. Like, he made him dream, put him under and made him dream that this guy was a famous doctor with a big tower. Boom. Yeah, so that's maybe The Lathe of Heaven. Okay, Mad Pogue says The Lathe of Heaven was also a book by Ursula Le Guin. Okay. That was a great one. But what you said there reminds me of that.
Yeah, and I'm reading a comment from the chat as well by Fan 11 about Stuart Swerdlow. As far as I could recall, I do recall him on there talking about him. I think he was a sergeant. I think he's Sergeant Stuart Swerdlow. This was years ago when I seen that, so I don't recall.
Okay.
But yes, I did see that. I did hear it. Excuse me. I did hear it.
Okay. Stuart Swerdlow. Was it Stuart? Stuart. Oh.
Okay, yeah. Oh, maybe he's not a sergeant.
Oh.
I'm just
Okay, I muted his mic. I think he's trying to say something. So if we be quiet, okay. Back from the future, I'm gonna hit on unmute, and you can say something. There.
Yeah, hi, Aaron. I was listening to you guys talk here, and the Mandela Effect. I've had several instances. I say several, more than one instances where I've logged on to. I went to a different world that was a duplicate of this world, and I didn't realize I was in a different world until I went to log on, and the screen had changed colors. And instead of being blue, it was a red background. And I was like, what the heck is this? So I logged on, and my password worked. It's no big deal, enter your PIN code. you log on. And then I was on a social media site, specifically Facebook, and none of my friends list, all my friends that were my friends there, I didn't know any of them. And I was like, what the heck is this? Who are these people? And they're all showing up as my friends, and I didn't recognize a single one of them. Okay. So I've had that happen. I've actually logged on to Facebook, a different Facebook that I don't believe exists on this planet, because I was in somewhere else, and my surroundings was similar but not exact. So it really felt like I was in a parallel world.
Okay.
And then I've had another instance where I found myself in this alternate world, and I was in a bar, and these people started asking me questions, and I must have answered wrong, because they all turned like pitchforks and just glared at me. I'm like, I have no idea who you people are. Why are you asking me these questions? Why are you mad at me? And somehow, because I had answered the questions wrong, they knew instantly that I wasn't myself that was there. They knew I was somebody else. And they basically chased me out of the bar and into a back alley, and this guy drove up and says, "Get in." So I get in his car, and he's like, "Don't worry, I understand what's going on." He says, "Your other self disappears from time to time, and sometimes another version of yourself will show up in his place, and we have to make sure it's him or not." And he said, "This time he's been gone for a couple of days, and you showed up, and we were trying to make sure it was him or not, and it's not, it's you." He goes, "Well, we need to get you back to your own home before these people come after you." I'm like, oh my God. Wow. And so that was one of my first true encounters of, hey, there's another world out there with another me. And occasionally he leaves his world, goes somewhere else. And when that happens, I leave here and go somewhere else. And I don't know if we swap places or if there's more worlds this is going on. But yeah, it's some bad stuff, man. Seriously. It's scary to go to a different world and everybody hates you. Because you're the wrong person.
That's weird. Here's something else that's weird. My computer's frozen, so we're gonna have to end the show right now. I want to thank both of you for coming on, Prop and Back from the Future. Thanks for coming on. Thank you to all the mods, and thank you to the super chatters as well, Kathy Weiss and Peggy Dancer. Thank you so much, and thank you to the Ultra mods. And we do this Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and occasionally on Sundays. So again, thank you, friends, for coming on. I'm going to have to turn my computer off to make this thing stop. I have to come back and turn it off or something. But my computer fried on me, and this is a backup computer, and this is what happens. So I apologize, but we'll be back on Wednesday for the next show. Be there, be square. Peace in. Thank you very much. And we're back. I came back to say goodnight to everybody. Thank you, Propagate the Light and Back from the Future. Thank you for stopping in and saying hi. It was very interesting. And we'll see you next on Wednesday and then Friday on the Truth Quest, because we're just on Range of Strange, where the outrageous is contagious and the paranormal is the new normal. Thank you, everyone. I love you all. You are my best friends. And peace in.